Welcome to the show, everybody. Hold the line is what I was going to start. Hold the line. Can I get a sound check? And a stream check in chat, please. Let me know it's all happening. Sound check, please, mods. Looking for group. Good day, everyone. Can you hear me okay, yeah? We're here for an hour today. Can I get a sound check? I think it's going out all right. Looks all good to me. Sounds good. Thank you very much. Sound quality any good? What's my voice sound like? Does it sound bearable? Too much hiss pop? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For those of you that don't know, this is a new build on the studio. Everything's quite new, so we're having to just get comfortable with stuff. I won't be saying this every episode. Okay, so welcome to the show, everybody. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, share, notifications, that sort of thing, yeah. I have to keep remember looking up there, you're up there, not down there. I've got a monitor down here, which I'm using to see you, to interact with you. Okay, what we got in tonight's show? Just a quick announcement. Trump is making an announcement in just under an hour, our time, reference Venezuela. So you'll want to watch that straight after the show. Find that yourself. If anyone wants to put a link in chat about that as an announcement. Basically, he's postured off the coast of Venezuela. If you know where Venezuela is, it's southeast of Florida, sort of thing. Southeast. They've sent their fleet. More volume. Okay, I can do that. Let's bring it up a little bit. 1, 2, 3. There you go. That's good. I've got a different mic here, guys. I'm trying it out. I'm not convinced. Didn't like the headphones that I bought, so I've gone back to these things. They are good for lots of reasons. Right, so we're going to get into the big thing with Piers Morgan and Tucker Carlson. Got an update for you on that. Got a shout out to Benny Johnson in America, who did a short go to Infowars for the Trump thing. Benny Johnson did a quick take on the interview between Piers Morgan and Tucker Carlson, which has gone viral for various reasons. Those two guys are experts, aren't they, at creating viral blurb. Always managed to dance along that, teetering on that line, yeah. Scarcey baby in the house. Sounds good, yeah? Thank you. Sound quality is good. Good. Right, just a little joke. I was in the cafe earlier, and someone said, "Cool, you're looking really white." And I said, "Thanks." I said, "Thanks." I took it as like the normal way, which is, oh, it is winter time, you know, lost my colour, looking a bit red. But my first thought was actually, thanks. Okay, all right. We're going to get onto the Tucker Carlson thing. We're going to talk a little area on UK Old English Constitution. Going to touch on a couple of things there. We're going to touch on the Rachel Reeves and Starmer misleading the public subject. Already earlier just this evening, the head of the Office for Budget Responsibility has resigned, not because of that particular thing, but because he had released the budget data into the public place before she'd even made the announcement. So, you know, heads are rolling. Starmer's holding his ground. We'll come to that anyway. We might get an opportunity. We're going to have a feature from time to time called Rewrite the Headline. So if we get time, we'll pop into a headline which I found on, you can guess where. Put in chat, where do you think I found a stupid headline? Where do you think I found it? Type it in chat, guys. Where did I go straight away to find a stupid headline in the UK? And then what we'll do is we might have a go at reading it how it should have been written. Yeah. Okay. Right. So I didn't do an awful lot of prep for this show, guys, other than the subjects, because this was so busy trying to dial everything in. If you look around the place now, it's starting to look pretty damn good. I think you'd agree. Gov, what's the gov for? GOV, don't know what you mean. Right, so yeah, I've just done some various slides here. I'm just going to show you them around. It's us talking together, which you've seen. There's us on the web page, which is where we're going now. So what we'll talk about first, if we get this Tucker Carlson thing out of the way, yeah? So what I'm looking for is, I'm just going to grab the video. This is the example where I wasn't ready for the show because normally I'd have all these tabbed up the top. So you just have, some days I'm dialed right in, some days I'm a little bit behind. Just copy the link. I do apologise there, guys. Okay, we're bringing it in now.
Top end affordable and
Here to take out that timestamp, so I do that by going like this, like this. Okay, so we shouldn't get for those of you in the chat, I already know who I'm talking to that didn't like the ads. I agree with you, and at the moment we're not going to be getting any because I've subscribed to this machine here. I've subscribed to the machine. Okay, so Benny Johnson, shout out to him. It's him in the chat there. I highly recommend you follow his channel. Look how many followers he's got. American, dialed right in. Highly connected individual. And what he did was he picked up on this interview that went out Friday or Saturday, whenever it was. It was actually a Tucker Carlson production. Tucker Carlson was over from America into London on a trip. He's got relatives in London and met up with Piers Morgan. I mean, of all the people in the United Kingdom of Great Britain, right, or even of just little England, we could have gone to Wales, we could have gone to Scotland, we could have gone to Ireland. Yeah. My point there is that all those people goes and sits down. Piers Morgan. Anyway, Benny Johnson always starts his video, well, he's been doing it recently, AI-generated funny intros to his video. I'm not going to plagiarise this too much. Once we get to the punch of what these guys say in their little get-together, shall we say, then we, then we'll stop that and I'll get your reactions to it. And there's also a third component to this, a little surprise for you right at the end, which some of you might not be aware of. Yeah? So a lot of you will know this narrative between these two, Piers Morgan and Tucker, but you might not know the third bit, so stay tuned. Okay, so let's watch this out.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. The Christian Kingdom of England that once ran the entire world is no longer England. And that's a shame, of course. They let it happen to them. Countries must commit suicide like this. This is what it looks like, actually, when your country commits suicide, when they allow another dominant culture to gain a foothold and then gain complete control of the nation. This is, of course, a Sharia march in downtown London. All of the architecture, none of it built by Muslims, all of the churches, the steeples, the things that made England a great society, not built by Muslims. That's just a fact. So why is this happening here? Of course, this is antithetical to English tradition. Islam is antithetical to free speech, separation of church and state. Many of the universal human rights, you can see every woman here is wearing a hijab, full head-to-toe hijab, and many of the children, you can see the little children wearing hijabs as well. And they're celebrating this because England is a destroyed nation. This is being allowed to happen because they've decided that they no longer have the will to fight for their own. And she had to plead guilty and apologize because of her homo.
So did you hear about this woman? You can't scroll down because it's in his video. But that woman there got assaulted by her boyfriend. And in a private message to someone, she referred to him as I can't say the word because of the legal stuff. But yeah, you can see it in the text up there. Make it out for yourself. Make that a little bit bigger. And she ended up getting done. She used this word. F something something GOT, yeah? And consequently, she got community service order for hate crime. Yeah, that's a separate story. So now we're going on to the Tucker Carlson.
Well, this sounds like a job for Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson went to England to speak with Piers Morgan, who I think he likes a lot, and who he complimented in his monologue as the man who is the purveyor of free speech in England. Piers Morgan does have a lot of people on from a lot of different backgrounds. He has hit out against wokeness. But as you can see in the total and complete collapse of Piers Morgan in this interview, Piers Morgan doesn't even remotely resemble the type of anti-woke, the type of Western Christendom crusader, true Western about the F word.
Elizabeth Kinney from Tranmere. Have you read about this?
Go on.
She's a mother of 4. I think she's a nurse, and she gets beaten up by her boyfriend. He beats her up. She goes to the hospital, and she texts someone, a buddy of hers, a friend of hers, a girlfriend of hers, and describes the man who beat her up and sent her to the hospital as a, quote, faggot. He's a faggot. And she's arrested and convicted of a hate crime. The guy who beat her up is not arrested or convicted. And then she goes through this whole kabuki, which is now required, where she prostrates herself before the judge. I'm sorry, it was not a homophobic rant. By the way, you're allowed to be homophobic if you want in a free country. You can have any view you want. But no, because she used the word faggot, she's arrested, and the guy who punched her in the face was not. That story tells you everything.
Well, I don't know that story. If it's exactly
Daily Mail, baby.
Okay.
Pictures of her and everything.
I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying I need to look into it. But if that is how you've told it, obviously it's ridiculous.
Would you say the word faggot on camera?
No.
Why?
Because
You don't want to get arrested, do you?
doesn't want to be arrested.
Because it's so harmful to people?
No.
Is that like gay bashing? What's wrong with that?
No, actually, my whole issue with the whole trans debate, for example, is you don't need to slide into actually saying derogatory stuff about trans people to make the point that women's rights should be protected. You don't need to.
Well, I agree.
So what? I don't believe.
No, but it's a magic word.
I don't believe in needlessly sneering.
Well, I'm not smearing anybody. I just think.
But why would you use that word?
Faggot?
Yeah.
I just did.
Yeah, but would you
faggot,
use
faggot,
it?
faggot.
Okay, but why?
And I'm using it because you're not allowed to, because you're.
I'm allowed to.
Go ahead.
I don't want to.
Say, I love gay people. Faggot.
I'm allowed to. I just choose not to.
This chick just got arrested for it and convicted.
Right.
So that doesn't have a chilling effect on your ability to.
Look, there are people watching this who will be offended by the use of the word.
I'm sure they
chick.
will. I'm not
No,
anti-gay. I never have been. I can use any freaking word I want.
Offended by the use of the word chick.
Chick. Okay, whatever.
How dare you be so sexist comparing women to chicks?
How about this? Let my life, the way that I actually live and treat people, be the testament to my heart. That's how I feel.
Tucker Carlson staying in England. I truly hope he isn't arrested. I mean, I guess if he is arrested for saying this on camera, it would be quite a story. And Tucker Carlson then talking about Britain and what's happened to Britain. And I encourage you to go watch, obviously, the whole interview. It's gone wildly viral in my timeline. But this is, I just want to play you 2 clips. I don't want to crib the entire interview because there's so many great clips. But there's this clip about what England has become. And is England without the white people or the white majority in the country? And the answer to that is, of course, no, it's not. Because the English built England. And if they're replaced, then you just you just become Algeria, right? Or Morocco. It's such a simple concept. The nation is its people. Let's take a country, that is not as controversial like Italy.
This guy's, what he's about to say now, before he goes back to Tucker and that, really does flip it around. I think after you see what he says in a second, and this is why I got respect for him. He's got a way of thinking of things, and he basically, for me, has empowered me from his following words on how I would like to always want to describe my culture. So that's quite a powerful resource for your brain to have, yeah? So just listen carefully to what he says here. He's using Italy as an example.
If you took all of the Italians out of Italy, every single one, there are no more Italians left in Italy, and you moved them all to Florida, which is kind of shaped like Italy, I guess. And all the language and all the culture and all the traditions and all the cooking and all of the music, then what would happen is Italy would stop being Italy and Italy would be Florida. Do you understand? It's not the rocks, it's not the trees that make Italy Italy, it is the people. Nothing else makes Italy Italy. And so when you remove the people, which is happening at scale in England, when you remove the people and the majority culture, then it ceases to be that place anymore. It becomes something totally different. Is that worse? Is that better? I mean, I think.
So Britain is scattering then. Is that a good word? I've just horrible thought as that is. So Britain is in like a slow car crash, scattering. We are leaving the country in our droves. Tens and tens of thousands are leaving. And we are scattering off to other parts of the world, yeah? Because Britain is fallen.
There's a lot of arguments on scale with that. You could check the rape stats. You could check, everything from the crime rates, stabbing rates, no-go zones, which they have in England, the rise of Sharia law, Muhammad being the number one name in England. All of this stuff, I could argue, is not good. But here's Tucker's deconstruction of it. I think it's beautiful.
Not attacking anyone on the basis of their race.
Yeah, but you're saying that our culture
religion
has changed because we've had other cultures come here. Is that your position?
Well, it's not my position. It's a fact. And you just said it at the beginning.
I think
so it's better. So what about British culture didn't you like and has been improved by new cultures?
Well,
tell me, what didn't you like before? What are you glad is gone from the Britain you grew up in?
Let me tell you. If you came to London in the 50s and 60s, the food was crap. Absolute crap.
Well, it was that way in the 80s when I was here.
Right. Now, we have some of the best gastronomy.
It's amazing. Some of the most expensive, too. I wonder, is everyone eating there?
No, I can tell you.
I paid $1,000 for dinner last night.
You're a wealthy man leading a very wealthy lifestyle.
Holy shit,
Why don't
all
you
the
come with
food
me?
here is...
Come with me to Brick Lane. Come with me to Brixton. I'll give you a proper meal.
I love it. You and I will go to the tough parts of town and eat street food. But
I can give you a great meal.
But are you really saying the food?
I'll take you to the top end of Portobello Market. Right, you come with me. If you want to risk death walking up to Portobello Market,
Did you just see that, guys? That's the... You know me, I don't miss anything, right? I don't miss anything, yeah? And not only has he just made the headline there, that he's basically saying multiculturalism provides the privilege and the benefit of cultured foods. But he then just says to him, get out your £1,000 a night dining hall, come with me to Brixton, and if you can survive the journey without getting stabbed, and then he laughs. So you've got to look for those, even the most competent person that's trying to portray themselves in a certain way, well, you can see the legs that they're standing on. And then once you can see the legs that they're standing on, you can see the floor. And he's just revealed his floor. I'm just going to wind that back again, just so you can hear that bit again. Ready?
Wealthy lifestyle.
Holy shit,
Why don't
all
you
the
come
food
with me?
here is...
Come with me to Brick Lane. Come with me to Brixton. I'll give you a proper meal.
I love it. You and I will go to the tough parts of town and eat street food. But
I can give you a great meal.
But are you really saying the food?
I'll take you to the top end of Portobello Market. Right, you come with me. If you want to risk death walking up to Portobello Market, I'll take you and give you some street food and you'll spend £10.
I've been to Portobello Market, and by the way, just in point of fact, I'm quite popular there. I will say that. You're way better than European. You're an ancient Germanic Celtic people who ruled the world. Do you remember that in your wooden ships? Anyway, but the point is...
So here comes the second bit.
No, I'm serious.
You
did.
Talk some crap sometimes.
No,
anyway,
it's totally real.
Crap, come on.
With the mass from Maine, White Pines. But the point is...
So, guys, just to keep you dialed in here. So, Piers Morgan has just made his first verbal error. He just basically said, don't care how many non-British people are in around me, as long as I've got access to my curry and my takeaways and my cuisine, yeah? And the nation is in uproar with those words. So that's the first thing. The second one's coming up now, and that's actually going to be from Tucker. Tucker then says something which triggers the third thing, which you might not know about.
Is your country went to war to preserve human rights in another country you had nothing to do with, but human rights are evaporating in your own country, and it's cool because you have soccer games with foreigners at them and good burrata. Yeah. And I'm just saying maybe something about the heroic British spirit has been diminished with time. That's all I'm saying.
Tucker Carlson takes Piers Morgan to the task over Britain's demographic collapse.
Okay, so I don't think he actually covers that second bit there. And it's a good job done already by Benny. The second, one of the things that Tucker says is that he doesn't think there's any issue with Pakistanis or Muslims in the UK because he's only met nice ones, and that in actual fact, the Muslims and the foreign nationals that he's had an interaction with so far, like in the taxi to the hotel, have all been very nice. And in fact, he likes them more than he does white liberals, left liberals. That's what he said on camera. Yeah. And that triggered a big response, as you can imagine. Yeah. But the third component, which I don't have access to, again, a low production level here today. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you watched it. It was phenomenal, wasn't it? Yeah? I hope I just did that second bit justice. So then Tucker, because I think they've had too many. They've already been on the juice, haven't they? Or they're just in some weird. I don't know what's going on in that moment. Like they're trying. I don't know. But in their efforts to outsmart each other, they're actually just digging each other into a hole. So Pierce says, "Food's better because we're being invaded." That's the short version, yeah, sort of thing. You know, because we've got too many people, there's plenty of restaurants, which is just insane. Tucker then says, no, I haven't got any issue with all the non-British white people. In fact, I like them more than some of the white people. So that was problem 2. And here's the third thing. And it came from Tommy Robinson in the form of a tweet in which he reminded Tucker Carlson of the fact that his path of investigation into the grooming gangs up where he lived in Luton, early on in his investigations with friends and colleagues, they quickly determined that an awful high percentage of the attacks that were happening on the girls in the area were actually being triggered and facilitated much more easily because of the local taxi services. So it was actually the Muslim taxi drivers, I'm not saying it's the ones in that area where Tucker was on the other day, but Tommy Robinson's point was, Tucker, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, dude. You cannot judge the circumstance of a nation in terms of its fragility and its risk, and its threats, current, yeah, real, based upon one taxi journey from an airport to your 5-star hotel with some bloke who's been quite jovial and quite nice because he's not a radicalised lunatic. Yeah. So there's a 3-part thing now. I think amazing. Obviously, Tommy comes out with closure on the matter. Really, 2 idiots just talking crap. Yeah. Okay. So we've wrecked that story. So I'm going to go on to my next one. So I'm going to give a quick update on Rachel Reeves and Starmer. So the update is, I've already told you, is the head of the Office for Budget Responsibility has resigned, and that's because of the early release of the what's it called, the budget data. So she shouldn't have actually put it onto the website until she'd given her speech, but it went out live. I can't remember how long before. Was it an hour, half an hour before? Welcome to everyone on Rumble and X and YouTube, everybody. You're all on different networks. You can probably all see the chat when I show you it. That's when I don't loiter around and forget to switch channels. What was I talking about? Yeah, so we're talking about Rachel Reeves. She's still in her seat. You know what they do? They just go and hide. Yeah, they leaked it. They leaked it out of... Well, did they leak it? Don't know. Even at very worst, it was malpractice on it, bad conduct, because the markets would have reacted based on that information, not what she was then saying. So some would argue that that was trading, causing a trade irregularity. You know, will the trades that occurred between that time and that time be allowed to carry on? Don't know. It might be an investigation into that. But anyway, she just yet again confirmed she's a liar. Lies on a CV, lies last year to say no taxes, they now did taxes. Do you agree, guys? I don't know. I do like to ask other people sometimes this, things like this. When she said last year, I've found a £23 billion black hole in the finances, I smelt bullshit. Yeah, because as I tell you, remember, always remember that the lefties and the liberals, they will always manufacture the problem, right? So they create the problem so that they can fearmonger and induce and create a barrier, yeah? Similar to the ones they did with the recent virus thing, you know, the way they create, problem gets created and then they have the solution, they have the answer, yeah? And so she says, you know, because of this £23 billion hole I found, well, ask Jeremy, what's his name? Jeremy, can someone tell me? Jeremy Hunt. So Jeremy Hunt, remember him? Used to be the health minister, Conservative, yeah? He was the Chancellor of the Exchequer up until the hours before the Labour Party took over government, yeah? So it should be right to say that he would have had access to look at the country's books, yeah? So he's looking at the country's books and then all of a sudden they lose the election and he's out. See you later. Order my car. I'm going home, yeah? But he would have known the number, right? So she either lied and there was no 23 billion thing, which requires, why did Jeremy Hunt not then call it out and say, hang on a minute, that's not how it was 2 hours ago. We haven't lost 23 billion in 2 hours, yeah? So she either lied or it's true. Yeah, that's what everyone used to call it. Yeah, don't use the full word, but yeah. You know, so there's skullduggery going on right in there, isn't there? Yeah. Jeremy Hunt's very quiet, isn't he? Because should he not have known what the condition of the books were when he handed it over? Yeah. So obviously you can imagine they have to go through all the legal security protocols and they get access to the systems and then they can request the information from their, you know. So at some point, she would have got the actual numbers. We don't know what that number was on that day, but I don't believe it was 23 billion minus, yeah, in the red. Then she says, don't worry, only just a little bit of tax this year, 43 billion, to cover that and to get us back on track. So she takes that off of you all last year, right? This year, off of us this year, last year, and then this year, and she says, that's it, no more taxes. Then this year, because they knew they couldn't do it, they do it, you know, secretly beyond the back door, so they changed the way the profile of the tax burden is. So they don't change a base rate of a tax duty on anything, but they change the criteria for paying certain rates so they get their money anyway. And then it transpires that there was no 23 billion. In actual fact, we were 4 billion in the black. Setting aside the debt, that's including our management of debt repayments and everything, yeah? But actually sort of cash in the pocket, we were, up until September, because the Office of Budget Responsibility told the Chancellor that we're 4 billion, I think it was 4.6 billion in the black, but she chose to then come out and subsequently lie. I've seen 5 clips in that period from September to now, where she's basically referred to this 20 plus billion black hole that she's fighting. And that's why she had to do what she's doing, yeah? So they're up to speed with that, but she's still sitting in. Starmer's standing behind her. Jeremy Hunt, I think, is the key to this because he can say whether there was this black hole or not, yeah? At the very least, it's misleading the public, etc., yeah? So we'll move on. Time flies. We're already halfway through this show. So should we do that? Let me see what I pinged over. I think I pinged over a lot, to be honest. Yeah, there was this, I can't get it over to you. Again, I've got a couple more things to do on the production so I can show you pictures and stuff. Right, so I'm going to move on to some other stuff. What else was I thinking to cover? Right, so the Old English, right, so let's get over to here. We're going World Wide Web, guys. You right with that? We're going World Wide Web. Okay, so what I'm able to do is I'm able to go here. No, I go here. Just remembering where I go, guys. Bookmarks. Nope. Bear with me 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to find my bookmarks. I'm sure they're usually there. Yeah, they are. Some of them. So yeah, so this was just, I won't bother showing you it because you can just see what they're saying on the screen there. OBR chief quits. Talk about that on GB News. This was mental in Italy. We twice have talked about Italy today. So they're talking not in English anyway, so I'll just break it down where you can read it there. That Italian, I don't know what it is, like a coffee place, patisserie, whatever you call it, is denying these women entry unless they remove their head, their burqas. And he's basically saying, no, you're not coming in unless you take them off. Look at I'll show the video and pay close attention to the daggers. Wow. I always like to role reverse things, guys. Yeah, I love to role reverse things. So would those people allow you to go walking into their mosque or into their home or into their private, into their area of life, concealed and covered up? Just don't get that. It's strange. So yeah, I don't know how it ended. I don't think it ended with anything other than them having to leave. I didn't watch it all the way to the end. I was just like, wow. Yeah, so just... You don't need to play that. Oh, this was incredible. Look at this tweet, look. Tell your daughters you love them. Maybe don't send them to university. So this is the women as young girls growing up, and then they go off to university, and there you go. That's what university can do to people. Someone wrote here, which I thought was quite mental. I don't know if it was female or not. No gender thing there. Women have a self-destructive side. Without a good, strong man to protect her and give her structure, a woman will probably spiral out of control. Cool. What did I want to show you here? This was quite mental. So all I wanted to show you here was, I don't know if any of you are getting into the AI generation stuff. I've been meddling with it. I'll be giving you examples of it as I create it. AI generated stuff, it's mental. But what I'm going to show you here, so they're talking, so to make that image and that video, you have to put in prompts, yeah? So you're telling the machine at the other end what's in your mind, what you see. And just to give you an example of the complexity of that, because I knew it was complex, but wow. So that is, from this point on, all of this, all of that is the text that you use. See all that? So let's just have a quick look at the categories. So you have the subject, which is obviously the marble statue. You have style. It's a bit of a general statement, but it is style. You have environment. You have lighting. You have composition. So you might want to be writing these down, guys, if you want to be making next level AI stuff, yeah? You can watch it back on the video if you need to. Color palette, not the same as lighting. Camera, the perspective, whether it's ultra wide, low angle, infinite depth of field, etc., etc. The mood, that's quite an interesting one. The details, so then you can go into the finite details, things like accessories on clothing or other little, you might have asked for a shelf and now you're asking for the things on the shelf, yeah. And then things like lens flare, things like that, and then obviously the render. So I just thought that was really interesting to see what we'll have to go into creating quite an awesome video, yeah. There's our global master. That treated all the Western democracies. I'm very proud of the fact the answer to me, your Lord and your Master. That's my analysis of him. Did you like that? give me a second. All right, so what we need to do now is the last thing we'll do, because it's 36. I won't be going an hour today, guys. A lot of this was still testing stuff. I'm very pleased with the way it's gone today. We're going to rewrite the headline. Okay, so none of you wrote in. Oh, did you write Gov when I asked the question of which website did I go to for a stupid headline? Go on, I'm going to wait 30 seconds. Which website in England, when I thought to myself, I need a ridiculous headline, so where shall I go to find one? I'm going to wait a few seconds while somebody might type in the website where you think I went for a stupid headline. Where did I go? Oh, dears. I think there's a delay on the stream, so I have to wait for it to feed through and then for it to come back to me. Okay, so I went here, this God-forsaken place. And what I discovered very quickly was a stupid headline. Can you see it? Let me enlarge the page for you. Where's the stupid headline? Where could it be? Look for the word that the BBC might want to target. Oh, couldn't be this word here, could it? Trump. Oh my gosh. Trump releases fraudster. Executive. Days into prison sentence. Trump releases fraudster executive days into prison sentence. So it makes it sound like, that there's this terrible fraudster. And Trump just doesn't care. Wants these crims on the street, And then when you read the article, which they don't want you to bother doing because they just want you to think this. So we're rewriting the headline. BBC, what a shock. Oh, guys, I do apologise. I didn't give you no highlighted chat this evening. Look. There we go. Oh, sorry, boys. Look. The ship was on autopilot tonight. I'm not going to lie. I pressed the autopilot button. Some of you know that I like autopilot buttons when I'm flying my airplanes. And so I forgot to press that button. Don't worry, everything's safe. We're still flying at 40,000 feet. I just forgot to turn the air conditioning down a bit. So everyone's a bit cold. There we go. All the chats, guys. If you're in there watching now and you haven't liked and subscribed and followed and notifications and all that, you need to remember to do that. Because I'll be gone in a minute. We will be out of here shortly. What a day. What a day it's been. There's another doctor's strike just before Christmas. Just what we need, right? So just when you need them the most, during the most hostile period of the year, I think. Well, I don't know, it's not the right thing to say, but definitely one of the two, isn't there? It's probably the pollen season and all of that, and the summer months when all the harvesting's happening, the allergies, and then in the winter it's all to do with the flu and the cold and congestion and coughs and sniffles. And what happens? All that disappears. It's all the doctors. 5-day strike. We want more money. More. Anyone know what a UK doctor's salary is on the NHS basic? You'd be quite shocked. So, headline was, Trump releases fraudster. He's into his prison sentence. When what it was, actually, I don't know if I can rewrite the headline, but basically, someone discovered that he'd been let out of the prison. This man, Gentile, wherever he is, I've got a picture of him, no. But he was a owner of a asset management company, basically in America, huge one. And a year ago, he was prosecuted by the Biden administration and locked up or expecting prison. Apparently, like a Ponzi scheme was the allegation and stuff. People lost money. But he must have had connections because he got quick justice, didn't he? To get 2 weeks later to get a pardon or whatever it's become from a commuted sentence from investment from Trump. It's just days into a 7-year prison sentence for fraud. Yeah, but what the Department of Justice lied about was the motivations behind it. So basically, as you know, when you invest money, by law, they have to advise you, don't you, that your investment can go up or down. And if they can, they have to tell you what your investment money would be spent on. In that particular one, it was about dividends, annual dividends. And so the company had been taking their salaries and dividends from their investors, injected payments. And they tried to say that that was criminal, that it created this Ponzi scheme, when actually there in all of the literature and all of the text, every client was always notified where the money would be going, what it would be spent on. So it was a miscarriage of justice in some ways, not sure. But yeah, so it doesn't quite read how that headline first went out, right, guys? All right, guys, I am absolutely chuffed to bits with today's video. Me, as a producer, I feel like it went well. What I feel like to do in here is what I do on X, is I come in here, and then I go, where do I do it? I go to my search box up here. Now I go to Grok, yeah? And I type in here, tell me 10 breaking news stories from around the world. And then today's date, actually I'll put it in American way, 12/1/2025. And then we might just get a little top up here with information. Well, we will, yeah. So we can have a quick scour through on the bold headlines here, yeah. You see that all right? I'll go full for you. So, White House tightens immigration reviews after the National Guard shooting. That's because of the Afghani shooting the poor 2 soldiers patrolling the streets, keeping people safe. So they're tightening all the immigration reviews. So they should. Philippines, there's a massive anti-corruption protest erupting over the typhoon relief failures. So that, corruption, people took the money but didn't buy the equipment. Bangladesh former prime minister. Oh yeah, I didn't talk to you about the Bangladeshi minister. So guys, have you heard about her? If you can type her name in the chat, that would be really appreciated. Oh, hang on, I'll probably find it if I go to the BBC again, because I think they did cover it with reluctance. So there's a British MP, Bangladeshi, I believe. Are they going to talk about? Probably not. They probably got it off. This is what they do, you see, is they get it off the page as quick as they can. And then they say, well, we put it on there. Gone already. So there's basically a Bangladeshi minister who actually, even though she's been convicted of crimes in Bangladesh, so she needs to serve 2 years in Bangladesh, she's not going over there to serve the time. She's hiding over here. And she even walked into the House today. So she walked into the House of Parliament, took her seat as a wanted prisoner in Bangladesh. So we've got wanted Bangladeshis sitting in our house. Yeah. And I think I tweeted out, someone will see it. My response to that was, if I committed a crime here then, so let's say I go out tomorrow and I attack someone or do something horrible, right? And I quickly get on a plane and I fly to Bangladesh. Does that mean I can then go and hide in Bangladesh and no one's going to come for me? Is there no extradition agreement? She is meant to be getting on a plane, getting out of our house, which it doesn't even belong in the first place, yeah? Going back where she come from, to Bangladesh, to her country and her land, her culture, and she needs to go and face up to the crimes that she's been done for. I think it was fraud. Significant. It was like quite a big thing, probably why she's here. So the motivations of why these people are here isn't because they've poverty and fear and warmongering. Quite enough of them, it's because they've done a wrong one. They've done a runner, as we say. Guys, I'll tell you what. Can you pat me on the back? Go on. I'll take it. Pat me on the back. Let me just get into shot here. Just give me a pat. I'll do it for you. There you go. So well done, Glenn. You absolutely pulled it off today. even though you... Yeah, long story. But lots going on. Do you like my new mic? Seemed to work, didn't it? It worked for you guys, did it? The new mic? I'm going to be phoning some of you after the show. After the show. All right, guys, I'm going to call it there and we will head on out. I will see you tomorrow in the next one, yeah? It's that time of day. I love this bit. We're going to make more of this music, guys. There's some more production stuff coming as well, which, yeah, you'll enjoy. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Pat, pat, pat. Thank you very much. I'll take that. Better than a meow, meow. Oh, hang on. Broadcast cat. It's because you like being patted. Take care.